What is up, Root and Rise Fitness family, and welcome to your first week of your new program, Ignite. Throughout this video, we're going to talk about what to expect for week one and how to follow your programming from start to finish. So, especially if you are working out from home or with limited equipment, this is a really important video for you to watch because I'm going to talk about some modifications that you can make in order to make this week work for you. In general, we are coming off of week 6 or peak week of the previous cycle, which means that we need to give your body a break. This week is all about learning your new programming, figuring out what modifications you need to make based on the equipment that you have or the injuries that you have, and utilizing the ability to film yourself and send in any video form checks that you have so that I can take a look and make sure that you are moving appropriately so that you can safely scale throughout the remainder of this cycle. Starting with day one, it's our upper body day one focused on pulling. So you're going to start with a banded face pull to help get your shoulders awake and moving. If you have access to a cable machine in a gym, of course you can sub in a cable machine with a light weight, but remember that in this action, we are focusing on just waking up and warming up your rotator cuff. Think about pinching your shoulder blades together in your back body and working through a really nice, big, full range of motion so that when we get into our first compound lift, our main KPI for the cycle, your upper body is warmed up and ready to roll. We're focusing on pulling for day one. So you have a choice. If you have dumbbell access, you will be doing a bench supported row. If you have access to a gym with an assisted pull up machine, or if you prefer to do banded pull ups, you can absolutely focus on that throughout the cycle instead. But whatever you pick today is what you're going to follow and progress over the subsequent 6 weeks of this program. For my dumbbellers, let's say that you have dumbbells and you're working out from home. A reminder that you don't need an exercise bench in order to do a bench supported row. You can absolutely use a chair. You can use your couch. You can use your ottoman. You can use your coffee table. It's up to you to find a variation of a pulling exercise in your space that will help you get stronger. Now, if you are using lighter weights, I'm talking anything that's probably about 20 pounds or below, you're going to want to add in a tempo to this in order to make this challenging enough for your back to get stronger. In terms of a tempo, we are looking for a 3 count on the pull, a pause at the top, and a 3 count on the lower. So it would look like 1, 2, 3, pause, 3, 2, 1, pause. When we have limited access to weights, tempo is the first thing that I lean on in order to help you feel stronger and to help build your strength without requiring access to a gym. After we finish with our rowing, you will then move on to your first superset of this first day. Superset means that you're doing exercises back to back with no rest in between, and you're going to see that a bunch throughout this program. First up is push ups. Start with the hardest variation and do as many reps as you can. If you don't hit your minimum rep count, add in an easier variation until you hit the minimum number listed for the rep count. So that might mean that you're doing 2 full push ups from your toes. Our minimum rep count is 8. So that means that you need to do 6 push ups of some variation that you can do in order to hit that minimum rep count. Then your goal will be to do more toe push ups throughout the cycle. Get what I mean? We'll then finish this day with alternating bicep curls, lateral raises, and an AMRAP for seated overhead tricep extensions. Remember, especially for your AMRAP means as many reps as possible because you are only doing it once. If you are hitting 12 to 15 reps of your AMRAP, it means that you need to go up in weight or make the exercise more challenging. For a seated overhead tricep extension, if you have light weights at home, my suggestion would be to come to a kneeling position. If the kneeling position still allows you to hit 12 or 15 reps, you're going to add a hold at the bottom of the tricep extension here for 3 counts. 3, 2, 1, lift. We'll do it again. Hold at the bottom. 3, 2, 1, lift. Because again, tempo is how we make things harder when we don't have an extensive amount of weight to pick from. Our lower body day is fairly self-explanatory if you followed our last round of programming. Our main focus lift is our Bulgarian split squat. We are not elevating the front foot in this variation, different from last cycle. Only your back foot will be elevated. If you have knee pain, if you have balance issues, my suggestion to you is that you keep your back foot on the floor and you just do a standard split squat. Front foot on the floor, back foot on the floor. If you have limited weights, you will be taking your weights up to your shoulders. If you have access to unlimited weights, your weights will be by your sides for the entirety of these 6 weeks. If you have very limited weights, meaning like one set of 10-pound dumbbells, you will pause at the bottom of every split squat. I'm so sorry. I love you so much, but that is the trade off for not having more weight to add. The remainder of our programming is again very reminiscent of our previous cycle with a single leg hip thrust. This cycle, you have the option of adding in a dumbbell onto your hip crease if you prefer. Remember, if you're loading up with the dumbbell, that is also the leg that is lifted off of the ground. Remember, you don't need a bench in order to do a single leg hip thrust elevated off of the floor. You can use your couch, an ottoman, a coffee table, so on and so forth. We're pairing this with a side plank variation. If you're new to side plank, go for a traditional side plank, very yoga style. You can always search the Root and Rise Fitness YouTube channel to see what that looks like if needed. Otherwise, our Copenhagen side plank involves an elevation of the top foot. We will add the option for a knee tap towards the end of this cycle, but we'll cross that bridge once we get there. Cossack lunges are a carryover from last cycle as well. We focus on depth this cycle, so make sure that you are bending your working knee to at least a 90-degree angle. Typically, that means you should be able to tap your butt on something behind you. And we're finishing with a reverse Nordic curl AMRAP. For this one, if you are working with limited weight and you're hitting more than 12 to 15 reps, you'll extend your arms out long in front of you in order to make the exercise more challenging. Your conditioning circuit this cycle is diabolical. We're working with step ups. If you don't have a bench to do step ups on, my suggestion is to sub in a reverse lunge at your discretion. As promised, our last workout of this cycle of our 3 is a push focused workout. So you're going to start with your push up. Same instructions apply here. Start with the hardest, finish out your rep count with something easier. And then we're going to move into our focus KPI, our press variation. You have a choice of doing an overhead press with dumbbells, also known as a shoulder press. I should have said that, and an overhead press with a barbell. So you're going to pick one style today and you're going to stick with it throughout the remainder of the 6 weeks. For today, if you are doing any barbell work, make sure that you are sending me a form video so I can double check that you are moving safely and efficiently. No matter what, everybody will follow the warm-up scheme that is detailed here in this day to make sure that you are primed and ready to be adding load throughout the cycle. Other carryovers, we are keeping the RDL with a pause for this cycle. If you are working with limited weights at home, you are again going to add tempo. 3 counts as you lower down to the bottom of the RDL, a 2-count pause at the bottom, and then a 3 count as you ascend and shave your legs back to standing position. That's the best way for us to overload this exercise. And if you are working with 10 pounds or lighter, message me because we'll need to give you something a little bit more challenging. We are also bringing back our alternating dumbbell snatch. I know I have some people that are new to me in this programming, and if that's you, take a video of yourself doing your snatch so that I can make sure that you're using your legs and not your back. That wraps up week 1. You'll be able to check back next week for some updates from week 1 to week 2. But please, 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 in these first 2 weeks, utilize the messaging feature, film yourself, and send me your form check so that we can make sure that you are set up for success throughout the remainder of our 6 weeks together. Let's get it.